Today I'm going to share with you this toy, Manipulative. It's called Exploragons and it's by EAI Education. Now, if your students are learning geometry or if they're going to learn geometry, give this video a thumbs up so I will know what you guys think. So the first thing we're going to go through is obviously all the parts of this manipulative set. The next thing I'm going to go through kind of an overview how we personally used it, and then we're going to finish off with, is this right for your educational space? So the first thing is, of course, the instruction booklet. I thought it was kind of cute. They have an overview of the questions and answers. So I guess if you lose a card or if you just want a quick reference, like, oh, my student needs a little bit help in this area, so you just kind of skim through the answers. I don't know. The next thing it came with was these dry erase mats, and they kind of have like these open-ended questions in which your students can fill it in terms of a graph. So it's kind of introduction to graphing, which I thought that was pretty cool. Last, it comes with these plastic connectors that will be used to answer the question cards. And that's it. So if you want to see how to play or how to introduce this manipulative set, give this video a thumbs up and follow me to the next part of the video. Okay, so for the big question, how do we actually use these Exploragons set? Because you know what? It's not really a game, but they're meant to teach. So the first thing is I invested in these little photo keeper storage boxes in which I keep the cards in one and the manipulatives in the other. And if you want any of these, check out the description box below because it's all here for you. So I believe children should learn by themselves with as little teacher input as possible. Because you know what? They remember it more. So thumbs up for this kit. So what I do is I started out by opening this kit. Now a little bit of backstory. Like I said, geometry is not introduced in my math curriculum till my kids are older. So they took out the set, and this is meant for kindergarten. They took out the cards and they started reading it. Make a shape that looks like the face of a die. So like, this is so easy. Like, we're not babies. I'm like, guys, just trust me. So they took it, each student picked their own color. Oops. Let's get some greens out here. And that's another thing. Like, these are so colorful. The students can kind of have fun and everybody gets their favorite thing put in. Their favorite colors, and I like that. So they started off with a square. Face of a die is a square. Great. So they made a square, but of course it's too easy for them. So I asked them questions like, how many right angles do you see? And watch this. They actually figured out that using some of them, we can actually show the right angles. So my students started cornering off the right angles. Another question I asked them, how many parallel lines do you see? So if you're doing this on the kindergarten level, that's totally cool because you know what? They'll just make the shape of a die. But I started enhancing the learning by asking all these questions, which they already know. So at first they thought it was easy, but you know what? They're right, but I could take it to the next level, and so can you. The next one, here's where I love it. The next question was, make a triangle with all of its sides being the same length. So of course, they took out their favorite colors, they made a triangle, and they were like, oh my goodness, this is way too easy again, right? That's what they thought. So they made their beautiful triangles. Guess what? Flipped it over, and they were blown away. An equilateral triangle? You're like, what's that? I've never heard that word before. I'm like, guys, take a second. I walked away. I said, you look at the prefix, look at the words you know, and figure it out. They realized equilaterals has the word equal in it, and triangle is, of course, a triangle. Now, guess what? Put two and two together. They had a triangle with all the same sides, so they on their own figured out an equilateral triangle is a triangle with the same sides, which, of course, we added to their dictionary words. So, next shape. Make a shape with 6 sides. Again, same thing. They came out with a hexagon. We learned hexa is 6. So in terms of this set, the learning is endless because their hexagon, if they made it this way, I'd say, okay, so which lines are parallel? it's so open-ended. I was able to look at every student's creation and I was able to bring the learning to the next level. And another thing I like is you could see here, they're all numbered on top. So I have my students go in order of the numbers. And I'll tell you why. Because I know they're not going to lose out any card, miss any learning experience. And like I said, they have all the answers on the back. So I would definitely introduce it to kindergarten students if they could read by themselves. Because for me, it's all about bringing the knowledge to the next level. So number one, they have to read by themselves. Number two, I'm not next to my students, but I'm not far away from them. So I can always hear and I could always glance over and see what they're doing. Because for me, this kit is so open-ended. This kit is so amazing. And it's more about giving my students a starting point, which are these cards. So they start off with these cards, letting them explore, which are these shapes. As you can see, they have all different colors of the lines. So we have these shapes. And lastly, it's I know what they know. This set does not know what they know. But once they have the data in front of them, then I merge the two into these open-ended questions. So the last feature this set comes with is the task cards. And they're really more like open-ended questions. And of course, they're all labeled, which is a nice feature because you know what? If they're not labeled, my students can often skip out a skill or two, and I wouldn't know because, like I said, I try not to hover. But these task cards are really open-ended questions. There are graphs, extensions, and we have not used it yet because it's not the direction we're going, but we will plan on using it. So in terms of dry erase, I cannot tell you how well these work, but I can tell you I've skimmed through the questions and I love it. Here, create a shape. Create shapes with different attributes, fill in the chart, and classify the type of shape that you have created. So you can classify it by number of sides, number of verticals, number of angles, and shape classification. So it just in terms of these cards, it's getting the kids to think like, okay, I've built it on my own. I've kind of gone through it on my own, but now it's time to see what I can do, kind of take my knowledge, put it together, and then bring it to the next level. So, what do I think of this EAI Exploragons kind of manipulative set? One being, we totally loved it. Two being, you decide. And three being, stay far away. I'll be honest, I'm going to give it a 1. Reality is the only feature I personally don't like at all is the storage system it comes in. So for me, and now I'm a teacher, I just don't have all of these funds to spend. And if you want to help out, wish list below. But anyway, like I said, I don't have all these funds to spend. This set was expensive, worth every single penny. But I had 2 issues with it. The first issue was because there's no storage container, it doesn't really look attractive when I present it to the students. Every time I present it, it's in this white container or clear container. They don't really know what it is. At this point they do, but it's okay. And the second thing is I had to spend more money on getting more containers, which there are some on our wish list if you want to be part of it. Anyway, so you know what? I decided let's just go ahead because like I said, these pieces are such good quality. The overall learning, I mean, come on, we just keep on learning. Look at this. I can take this literally all the way through the high school level. This one set can take me from kindergarten through high school. So is it worth it? 100% yes. But keep in mind, either A, have extra containers on hand, or B, you're going to spend a little bit more for the containers. But overall, totally get it. And give this video a thumbs up if you are going to get it. And if you have any questions specifically on how to use this Exploragons set, or if there's something else that you were thinking of or want to see featured here, well then, head over to my Instagram account because as you can see, YouTube turned off my commenting. But you know what? I want to connect with all of you guys. So head over, feel free to ask any question you want, and I will get back to you whether in person or in another video here. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Keep on playing.